everybody, Summer Moon Garden here. I'm Lauren. Thanks for joining me today. I am back from Colorado, and of course the first thing I do is go to my very happy place, Scottsdale Farm. So I stocked up on a few perennials to go with my roses that I just got in the ground this morning. Let me show you what I got. Okay, so up front here, I have a few annuals that I'm gonna put around the pool, and some are gonna go on the front porch, like this Acapulco coral reef. Look at this beautiful bloom. Isn't that just stunning? I didn't plan to get this, but this is one of those plants, you see it, you just like cannot pass it up. So I got this to go on the front porch in a shadier spot. And then this one here is Acapulco apple blossom, which is just this gorgeous light pink. Isn't that just beautiful? I really love that. And then this one's not blooming yet, but this one is a Acapulco rose. Let me see if I can get the tag out so you can see it. So that's what that's gonna look like once those bloom out. And then I got a couple of the Supertunia Vista bubblegum, because this is kind of like a staple in my garden in the summer. I've got to have at least a few. So I got a couple of those. And then I also got this beautiful plant here, Midnight Candle Mealy Cup Sage. I just adore these little blooms. I think they're so beautiful, and I know that my hummingbirds are going to love it. I actually heard my first hummingbird this morning, which was super exciting. Okay, let me set this down on the ground. All right, so here are all of the perennials that I got. Now, most of these perennials are gonna go out back in my rose garden. I just finished planting all of the Grace Rose Farm roses, and my goal with these is just to fill in all of the little empty gaps with these plants. So here is what I got. I got 6 of these Cat's Meow Nepeta, which I love Nepeta, and of course my cats love Nepeta. They are always rolling in it and enjoying it very much. Let's see here. And then we also have 6 plants of this Violet Profusion Salvia, which is a perennial in my area. Gets 14 to 16 inches tall. It's just a good filler flower, you know? It's one of those that is reliable and it comes back every year. And I just really want to start filling in those beds back there around the new statue with as much plants and flowers as I possibly can, to finally get it feeling like a cottage garden, rose garden feel, because last year the plants back in there just didn't do very well. I mean, they did okay, but you know, I'm looking to really fill it out with a lot of beautiful plants. And I think also that the sage and the Nepeta are going to help deter the voles. I don't think they don't like these plants at all. So hopefully that's going to help deter them from getting in my rose bed, which is the ultimate goal. I really need them just out of there, so my roses can grow strong and not continue to be eaten up. And this, I figured I'd try something new. I've never really had very much luck with Penstemon, but I'm going to give it a try. I really liked the way this one looked. It's called Bejeweled Rose Rhinestones. And it has some really beautiful dark pink flowers. Oh, excuse my nails. I need to get them done. But aren't those beautiful? I really liked that color. I got 3 of those. And then this is my big boy Penstemon here. This one gets really, really tall. The rose one gets 14 to 16 inches tall. Midnight Masquerade gets 36 to 40 inches tall. So I'm gonna put this in a spot that gives it a little bit more room to grow. Let's see here, what about spacing? Did it say 28 inches? Yeah, I think it needs a little bit more space. Yeah, because this one's 20 inches. So this one gets a little bit bigger, but isn't that a beautiful plant? So I got 2 of those, and So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set all these out and set my camera up so you can just watch where I end up putting everything. And then hopefully once I have all these placed out, that U-shaped garden bed is really going to look nice and full and beautiful and not have a bunch of empty spaces in it anymore, because that has been really annoying me and I'm so ready to get it nice and full of pretty flowers and plants. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. All right, as I'm out here bringing out these plants that I just got, I want to show you where I ended up putting all of my Grace Rose Farm roses. Here we have Victorian Bride. Here is Peony Pink. And then I kind of squeezed in Priscilla right next to Peony Pink. I might end up moving that one because it is pretty close. And, you know, last year when I planted all these roses super close together, they didn't do very well in this bed. They've actually done fine over here. So I wonder if really this ended up just being a vole issue. So again, I'm getting all of these sage and catmints to hopefully deter the voles from coming into this bed. But anyway, I might end up moving that. I don't know. I might just end up putting her in a pot that I have. I've got an extra pot up by the pool. That way these two roses have plenty of space to grow. And then here I have Chiffon, which is a gorgeous rose. And then, you know, you see I've got a little empty spot there. I might, you know, I'll be filling that in with the sage and the catmint and whatnot. And then over here, everything is soaking wet because of the rain. I have Julietta cerise, regular Julietta, which is a lighter pink color, bridal piano, and then persuasion. So this bed is now full of roses, as well as that one is. I actually stuck in, you can see hiding under there, I've got some daylilies that I kind of tucked in there. Hopefully I'll eventually tuck in some more plants into here as well as I am able to. And same for this bed over here. I could use, you know, I could use some catmint plants in there, as well as, you know, put some catmint up front here. That would be nice. But then I think this rose garden should be full and done, and just hopefully things will grow and I won't have to keep moving things around and replacing plants that have, you know, been eaten or died or whatnot. So rose gardening can be somewhat of a challenge. Sometimes it's really easy and sometimes it's not so easy, but you just keep on keeping on when you're obsessed with them. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the plants and set them out and show you where I put everything. Okay, so I alternated the penstemon here on the back side of this bed. And then I have the catmint here up front on both sides. And then back here, I've got more salvia. And there's the really tall penstemons. I figured I'd put those up front in those gaps. Those are a little bit bigger gaps. And then these little gaps right back in here, I put, here, this gap as well, I put, it's called Lilium regal. I'll throw a picture up for you so you can look at that. So we have some lilies in here as well. I have 3 of the regal liliums. And then back in this area is a lily called Elusive, which is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really excited to see that one bloom. That was, I can't remember if that was an expensive bulb or not. But anyway, I think once we get all these in the ground and then I'm gonna get it all mulched, it's gonna look so much better. And again, I'm still debating on this rose, if I should take it out and put it in a pot just to give Peony Pink a little bit more room to grow. And there's gonna be a little bit more space for Awakening as well, which is my climbing rose that I'm gonna be training up onto this trellis here. Okay, I got everything planted around here, just so you can kind of see how it's all placed. And the roses, the Martha Stewart roses are actually putting on some growth now. I'm not so worried about them now. They were worrying me for a bit, but now I'm not too concerned. I would put down some mulch right now, but it has been raining for like a day and a half, and those mulch bags are really, really heavy. So I'm gonna hold off on that, let things dry out a bit, and then mulch. But I'm loving how this all looks once it's mulched and once everything leaves out. As far as the roses go, it's really gonna look full and beautiful and like a real cottage rose garden vibe, which I've been aiming for. Look at this beautiful clematis. That's called Silver Moon. Isn't it pretty? And I've got Silver Moon, 1 Silver Moon for each panel on this side here. So all in all, I'm liking it. I think it's you know, in a month or so, it's really gonna look nice and full and beautiful, and my hard work will pay off. And again, here is all the new, some more of the new Grace Rose Farm roses I just planted. And then Bloomsbury is over here. I planted that one before we left for Colorado. But while I'm out here, I might as well do a garden tour. It is very rainy right now, but you know, it's held off long enough to where I'm not getting soaked. So I figured let's do a little tour and show you guys around. So much has grown since we left. It's like spring exploded while we were gone. So all these roses, La Perla, are just, I mean, it's just covered in buds. Look at this. Oh, there we go. Now it's focused. Isn't that beautiful? La Perla just has buds all over. And all of these on this side are La Perla, which is a beautiful creamy yellow rose. And the Woodland garden is looking so, so pretty. The viburnum is blooming. These roses are just growing so fast. This is Bonica, and I've got 8 in this bed right here. They get pretty big, and that's why I left this really big gap up here in front, but this gap is so huge. I might plant some Moonlight and Paris roses up front here. I'm debating, because that would be really pretty. There's, you know, some more Bonica roses in here that are kind of shaded out right now by all these bulbs that I need to transplant. So there's some things that we got to do back here, like move these bulbs and these hostas. They got to go in a different spot. And then we've got to replace that tree. I've got a replacement for that one. But all the lilies are popping up. Look at this. All those lilies. How exciting. And the peonies. And look at this beautiful dogwood tree. It is just covered in blooms. And it's called Spring Grove. We just planted it. Got it from Growers Outlet. And everything is really coming up nicely. I did end up, looks like I lost a heuchera. There was a heuchera right there. Guess it did not make it. And then this Japanese maple is called Peaches and Cream. Isn't that beautiful? And here's Peaches the cat. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hello. How are you, sweet boy? Hi. Yes. My sweet baby. See, this bed is really starting to leaf out. All the Japanese maples look so beautiful right now with their spring color. A lot of the hostas have popped up. The ferns are on their way. There's a big grouping of ferns right in here. Looks like this Edgeworthia did not make it. So I got to figure out what to do about that. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. The good thing is I have so many Edgeworthia around the garden. If I wanted to, you know, keep the set of 3, I could just pop that one out and pop in another one. Lots of ferns in here that haven't come up yet. Here's Japanese Princess, which is a dwarf Japanese maple. And now I'm trying to remember what this Japanese maple is. I think it's Amber Ghost, if I remember correctly, but isn't that just beautiful foliage? So, so pretty. And then this Japanese maple here, I do not remember the name. I had it tagged at one point. I cannot remember. Oop, it's starting to rain. Oh, I was hoping it would hold off. Quickly, over here we have Moonrise, which has beautiful spring color. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Very pretty tree. The Moongate is doing well. All of the ferns are growing and getting so big. And the ferns that, you know, were here before are just starting to wake up. Everything is looking so awesome. This Japanese maple here is Germain's Gyration, which it has gotten so big. It's been here for several years. I'm not exactly sure how many years, but we've had it here for a while. It's got a really beautiful texture to it. This one is called Red Spider, and it needs a bit of pruning. Some of the branches have died over winter, but this one's got a really cool leaf structure to it. Very unusual. Very, very pretty. And then over here, you can see if I can sneak back this way. This Japanese maple is called Green Cascade. And this is another one that has been here for quite some time. So, so pretty. All right, then let's go back around here. I have another Japanese maple right here. This one is called Garnet. I know, buddy, you just want attention. Oh my goodness. So this is another weeping red variety. Still got to come through and mulch this area. But this is really waking up. I obviously forgot to prune my sublime hydrangeas, but the roses are just really waking up. Oh, and then this Japanese maple right here, that's a bloodgood. Lots and lots of new growth on all the roses. One rose I'm very excited about back here is Mill on the Floss. It has like taken off and exploded. Look at all these arching canes. I've got one cane going this way and one cane going up this way. And there's all this new growth in the middle. I'm really excited to see that one. I have not had the best luck with David Austin roses. So this is just spectacular that it's doing so well. Oh, and then this Japanese maple right here, which has half died, is Emperor 1, which I have another Emperor 1 I'm going to replace it with, and then I'm going to pop this one out In the back somewhere, potentially, because we do have plans to eventually bump our fence back to make more room for the woodland garden. And so I'll have it somewhere out there. One other Japanese maple I forgot to show you is right here, which is Dancing Peacock. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, just love it. And it has the most beautiful fall color as well. Before I head up to the front to show you how the rose garden is looking up there, I had to show you Fragrant Spring Clematis. Look how beautiful it is right now. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I'm just in love. I really need to come in here and clean off this bench and cut back the camellia back there so I can sit here and enjoy these beautiful blooms. I mean, just goodness gracious, look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, we're gonna do just a quick run through of the front here because it is on the verge of raining. But here's the front bed right now. The tulips are done and over, but look at those beautiful snapdragons. They're looking glorious right now. Once these are all done blooming, I'm gonna clear this out, and I've got some roses arriving in the mail. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put Moonlight in Paris up here, or if I'm going to do two varieties. I know I'm putting Bliss up here for sure, but just not sure about Moonlight Romantica. Oh, and I did notice when I got back from Colorado, there was a deer here. Something has been eating my roses up here. Thankfully these two were not touched, but that one got eaten, and then a whole bunch down here got eaten as well, which is such a bummer, but thankfully, you know, they'll come back. But this one's definitely been munched on. This is Summer Romance. And I think that one's been eaten on too. Yeah, these have all been eaten. A lot of these, that's why they look further behind. I was wondering, why are these struggling so much? They look like they're further behind than the rest of the garden, but the thing is that there's been a deer or something snacking on them. This one doesn't look like it's been touched though, I don't think. I don't know, it's hard for me to tell. But the rest of this bed is doing just fine. No issues here, everything is growing nicely. Oh, there's a little clematis bloom action right there. And then everything is looking good up front here. Lots and lots of buds. We're gonna have some rose blooms soon, which is exciting. And this side is doing great too, no damage. Everything has been leafing out, filling out, and look, all of my Princess Charlene roses are really putting on new growth. Everything's doing great. Oh, and look at this iris bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you enjoyed watching me get some more perennials in the ground. I'm so excited to have all that whole U-shaped bed just full of flowers. It's going to be just fantastic. So now we just have to wait and be patient and watch it bloom. So I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the tour, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.